So quick update on uranium as promised. I put out a community post earlier today that we were on the verge of breaking out, and there was quite a bit of excitement as of 2 trading days ago. And well, we haven't been disappointed so far. So this is again a review of the Northshore Global Uranium Mining ETF, URNM, and the Global X Uranium Mining ETF, which is URA, and UUUU, which is Energy Fuels Incorporated, the stock. So we're going to start with the URNM. We were looking for a breakthrough, what we were calling our pivot zone. And this pivot zone is something that is based on the preceding 1-2. So the larger 1-2 setup has its extensions as shown. And the pivot zone is what we call that region between the 0.618 and 0.764 extensions. Being able to break through this more or less ensures that this isn't some kind of a B wave bounce before a deeper C wave for our wave 2, if this is an expanded flat. And it also drastically reduces the probability that it's actually a fifth wave up. So it means that it's very unlikely to be this. So that generally means we are basically in the third of the third wave. It's legitimately started, and we have reason to believe that it is, because again, we have a 1-2, 1-2, right, within proper proportions. And we've broken through the pivot in, again, URNM. And if we, since we hit almost the 0.61 extension for our wave 1, should get pretty close to, well, pretty close to $104, $105, maybe up to $106 on the at the end of this stretch of the rally. Our overall third wave should go higher. So while it's excited here, we need to make sure this doesn't break down below the 0.618 at the bottom of the pivot zone. The same is not the case for the other two assets that we're covering, but we're getting closer. This is URA, the Global X Uranium ETF, and we are within the pivot zone. Once we break through, that will indicate that both of these ETFs are on the run and they're on the move. And I actually put an alert here for myself just so I don't forget and overlook, because I have personally not entered positions yet, but I will be strongly considering doing so tomorrow. And finally, we have UUUU, which again is Energy Fuels Incorporated. And this is lagging behind the other two. Although you could argue that it actually has a nicer structure. This looks more convincing like an impulse wave, because you have a 1-2, 3, 4, and that fourth wave did not overlap the first wave. So that is more of a standard impulse. It looks the part. We have a blow off to finish it off. So we extend a little higher than we would normally in most other asset classes, but because it's a commodity, that's what you expect to see. And we had a nice clear 3-wave pattern for the wave 2, and a ABC zigzag pattern for our wave 2, the smaller degree wave 2. So again, we have a 1-2, 1-2, and we're getting very close to that pivot region. We've actually broken the pivot region. If you look at this 1-2, since Elliott wave patterns are recursive, you could argue that that's a 1-2. We have an even smaller 1-2, and we've broken through the pivot. So we're at least in the third of the third, possibly something like that. So we need to get through this pivot, and it too has an alert set up. And once this gets running, that will be a good sign. What I'm actually going to play is going to depend. Again, I put out a community post earlier today with what I was looking at, what my observations were. So if I do make an entry into any kind of positions, it will be very likely posted in the community post. Once again, that is in my channel. If you click there and click on the community tab, you will see that. So that is where we have it. Now, again, like I mentioned, if you have entered any kind of leverage positions, please be sure to set your stops at the bottom of the pivot. So for URA, it would be about 27.71. and 89.16 for URNM. I would be doing the same thing, since especially in URNM, we've already gone through the top of the pivot. We absolutely must maintain 89.16. Cannot break down below that again. If it does, there's a good chance that this is some sort of a fake out, whether it's just a deeper wave 2 or this whole thing is a fake out bounce is yet to be seen. It would be a high risk thing to see happen. But right now, things are looking pretty clean. When we look at the MACD, got some divergences forming. This could be the third of a third, something like that, with a little higher to go for the probably going to break 100 on the next push if we don't get some kind of a consolidation in the meantime first. So again, exciting times ahead. In my last video, I did highlight some possible options, call option potentials. It was either the last one or the one before. So I'll definitely have some material on that. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss those. And if you're playing more non-leveraged, if you're just holding the ETFs or the stock straight up, not really anything, nothing's really changed. If you wanted to buy, you probably have already accumulated a position. And if you were a long-term trader, probably you've probably been in the black for the past 6 months. So good on you. If you enjoyed my video, don't forget to give me a like. Until next time, thank you for watching and happy trading.